A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about Saturn in the 5th house. When Saturn is placed in the 5th house, what results does it show for us? But before we begin, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing, subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. Let's talk about the 5th house first. The 5th house is a house of creativity. It is the house of children. It is a house of glory. It is a house of high speculative income. It is a house of fun and frolic, and it is the house of your intelligence. It is also the house of your love affairs. Saturn, on the other hand, is a planet that is kind of sukshma, or it is drier planet. It does not have that love, affection and that strong connect, but nevertheless it is duty bound. Wherever this Saturn sits, it works towards its duties. Saturn is a planet that is regulated, that is very much in time, and that shows great administrative abilities along with being a very strong force in the area of servitude. Saturn also is very strong when it comes to maintaining punctuality and being bound by time. So keeping these things into mind, let's see what Saturn in the 5th house gives. Let's not forget that Saturn delays things. Now Saturn is a planet that delays but does not deny. So the 5th house, which is your house of children, when Saturn is placed here, we would see that such people can have a delay in having children. And even the second child would be delayed because Saturn would from the 5th house also be aspecting the 7th house. So marriage and romance, both for these people, can be delayed. In fact, these people can be low in romance because they're very practical. The 5th house of romance needs a lot of pep up chest. Wherever Saturn sits, it's so duty bound that it does not look out for all the jests and for all that zest of life, for all that fun frolic. It does not believe in all those small things. It believes in doing what is required, and as much as it is required to make life comfortable for the person at the other end. So it does a lot of duties, but it does not do it out of fun, frolic or laughter. It does it out of work that should be done, that has to be done. Saturn shows great deal of administrative abilities. Now when a person has Saturn sitting in the 5th house, your creativity becomes a lot linear. In fact, your creativity develops at a very later age, as does, as I said, about your children. And the name and fame that 5th house is associated with, if Saturn sits there, that name and fame can be delayed for your old age. Let's not forget that wherever Saturn sits, it teaches us certain karmic lessons. In this case, it can be about my disciple, it can be about my children, it can be about the work, the accomplishments one desires, because you would have to spend a lot of hard time and work, because Saturn also denotes hard work. To attain those accomplishments, one has to put in a lot of effort. Let's talk about the students or intelligence. Yes, intelligence, the person would be slow at grasping things because Saturn moves slowly. So 5th house of intelligence, where you convert your knowledge into practical purpose, would be very methodical for a person, and a person would do it time and time again to be very thorough in his work. Now, the 5th house is also the house where we talk about our speculative gains, be it lottery, be it the share market. Saturn, when it sits in this 5th house, don't forget, it's a karmic planet. It's a planet of discipline. It's a planet that follows strict rules. So if you want to have a lot of money from this house of speculative gains, then you have to be very thorough in your work. You have to know your work very well. And you have to know your companies, your shares very well, so to make a lot of gain out of it. Only in that case will Saturn give you a lot of money out of it. As I said, people are not very forthcoming, very loving, but yes, they are meticulous, and Saturn in the 5th house gives you name and fame at a late date. So, if you know anybody who has Saturn in their 5th house, do work on their chart, see how it works, and do get back to us. On this note, I need to tell you one more thing. Very beautiful thing about Saturn in the 5th house is that this Saturn is also aspecting your 11th house and your 2nd house. So if you're working really hard, even if you're working in the speculative market, but if you're following the rules, if you're being tedious and fastidious about your work, you are straight and narrow, this Saturn has the capability, after a long hard run, lot of hard work, lot of chapal gisai, a lot of money in your life. Till we meet with you again, stay safe. Thank you. Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.